Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Yoga with Rose. Today we're going to be doing a 20-minute mindful movement flow. So in this class, we'll be moving from pose to pose, mindfully following the breath. We'll create heat within the physical body while releasing tension from the muscles and stress from the mind. So just taking the first few moments of our practice in Sukhasana, grounding down in the sitting bones, lengthening the spine, reaching the crown of the head towards the sky. Just taking a moment here to clear out the mind space from any distracting thoughts that may be drawing our attention away from our mat, and we'll bring in that attention, that focus to our breath. So beginning to inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, making that deep connection with our breath before we begin our practice. So doing a little pranayama work here, we're going to begin to inhale to the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. We'll continue that equal part breath for a few moments here to really become anchored and present here on our mat. Taking this time to set an intention for our practice, and feel free to join me in my intention of positivity. Just trying to find something positive to take out of every day, trying to be more positive in every aspect of your life. And just think of that word positivity, bring it to our third eye awareness, the space between the eyebrows, and leave it there throughout our practice. So from here, we're going to begin to blink the eyes open, rolling the shoulders in one direction, and then changing that direction. We're going to begin with some neck rolls. So dropping the right ear to the right shoulder, rolling the chin towards the chest, and the left ear up to the left shoulder. And we'll come back to center, chin to chest, right ear, right shoulder. We'll do this a couple more times. Nice, slow, mindful movements. Just really taking that time with these poses in the start of our class. So coming to center, we're going to stretch the front of our throat, tipping the chin towards the sky, opening the neck, opening the front of our throat. And we'll release, come back to center. Inhale the arms up overhead, nice big stretch. Exhale, right hand down to the right side. We'll sweep the left hand up and over for our seated side bend. So rooting that left glute to the earth, we're going to stretch that left hand up and over, away from our anchor, that left glute, and come back to center and release right over to the opposite side. So left hand comes down, sweeping the right hand up and over, opening the chest, feeling the space opening between each rib, stretching through the intercostal muscles. We're going to release, come back to center, inhale, and exhale, seated twist, left arm to the right thigh. And right hand comes behind us as a kickstand, peeling that right chest and right shoulder back. Crown of the head reaches nice and high, looking behind that right shoulder. We're going to inhale back to center and exhale, twist to the left. Right hand to the left thigh. Left hand comes behind us for a kickstand, peeling the left chest and shoulder back, finding our breath. We're going to release, come back to center, and roll up and over into a tabletop position. Starting a few rounds of cat-cow. Our hips are over the knees, shoulders over the wrists, and we'll inhale, lifting the chest, the chin, dipping the belly down, and exhale, pressing into the hands, rounding through the spine, chin to chest. Inhaling for cow, exhale for cat. So really exaggerating the movements here, maybe wiggling the hips, shaking out any sensations, any tightness in the body. Just really allowing the body to wake up here, doing whatever feels good for you on your mat. Maybe rolling the shoulders, swaying those hips. Maybe just finding a little dance here in our cat-cow. We'll take one more breath in. So coming back to that neutral tabletop, we're going to extend the right foot back, flexing the toes towards the mat, and then extend the left hand towards the top. So in bird dog pose here, nice tight core, squeezing the glute, finding our balance. And with our next exhale, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. One more. We'll inhale to lengthen. Exhale, crunch, elbow to knee. We're going to inhale for bird dog. Exhale, bend throughout that right knee. Grab it with the left hand, opening here for our tiger pose. So opening the chest, really kicking that right foot into the hand. Finding a breath. We'll release into bird dog. Exhale, tabletop. Maybe sway the hips side to side, just releasing those movements. Feeling the sensations running through the body as we awaken here and start our practice. So extending the left foot back, flexing the toes towards the mat. We'll reach the right fingertips towards the top of the mat. Nice tight core here, finding our balance, our stability. And then we'll find our flow. So with our exhale, elbow to knee crunch. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale to crunch. Last one, inhaling. Exhale, crunch. We're going to inhale to bird dog, finding that tiger pose. We're going to bend in the left knee, grabbing the foot with our right hand and kicking the foot into the hand, finding our breath. And again, it's okay if we can't get here. It's okay to stay in bird dog. So coming back to that bird dog pose, we'll drop down into tabletop. Taking this time to bring our big toes to touch, knees are mat distance. We're going to sit it back into our child's pose, forehead down to the earth, bum comes onto the heels. We're tenting the fingertips, really opening throughout the shoulders here, finding a breath. Child's pose is our pose of surrender, so surrender any thoughts that are no longer serving you here. Coming back into our tabletop, shaking it out. We're going to tuck the toes, inhale, and exhale, press it back, downward dog. Making that upside down V with the body, walking out our dog here, bending one knee and then the other, finding any wiggles, any movements that feel good on your mat today in your body. So we're really pressing into the fingertips. We're going to inhale, right foot up, pointing right toes towards left side. Stacking the hips, equal weight in both hands. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to chest, hold here, and step the foot between the hands. We're coming into low lunge, so we can keep the hands tented on the mat, or inhale, reaching the fingertips up nice and high. We're working that left hip forward, right hip back. Nice deep bend in the right knee, tucking the tailbone, nice tight core. We're going to inhale and exhale, frame that right foot. Inhale, straighten the right leg for our half split. We're going to inhale, pull forward, and exhale, nose to the knee. Folding over, flexing the toes towards the face, squaring the hips to the top of our mat. We're going to inhale up, plant the hands, tuck the left toes far up the back leg for our runner's lunge. So the crown of the head reaches forward, hands are still to the mat. We're going to inhale up for crescent lunge, holding here for a few moments. Inhaling. And exhaling, planting the hands. We're going to straighten out through that right leg for extended pyramid. So we're still up on the ball of the left foot. Nose comes to the knee. Nice flat back. Coming back to our runner's lunge, bending in that right knee. We're going to step back into our downward dog. Option to stay here or pull it forward into high plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower halfway, chaturanga. And inhale, pressing it up, downward facing dog. A few breaths here before we show that same love to the opposite side. So we're going to inhale, left leg up nice and high. Exhale, bend in the knee, pointing the left toes to the right side of the mat. Equal weight in both hands. Inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, knee to chest hold before stepping through low lunge. Option to inhale, lift the arms up, nice tall spine, tucking the tailbone, working right hip forward, left hip back. Deep bend into that left knee. Inhaling here. And as you exhale, frame that left foot. Inhale, straighten that left leg, rolling onto the heel, flexing the toes towards the face. We'll inhale, pull forward, nice flat back. Exhale, nose to the knee. Remember to keep those hips squaring to the short edge of our mat. Feeling that hamstring lengthening here in this pose. We're going to inhale, come forward. As we exhale, far up that back leg, lift up, runner's lunge. Nice flat back, reaching the crown of the head forward. With our next inhale, we're going to extend the fingertips towards the sky in our crescent lunge. So nice, strong right leg, tucking the tailbone, core is nice and tight. Inhale. And exhale, frame that left foot. Inhale, straighten out that left leg for our extended pyramid pose. So we're still on that ball of the right foot. And that nose is coming down towards the left knee. Again, feeling a nice deep stretch here in our hamstring. We're going to inhale, pull forward into our runner's lunge. Exhale, back downward dog. Inhale, pulling forward, high plank. Exhale, chaturanga, lower halfway. Inhale for up dog. Exhale, down dog. Taking a breath here. So we're going to come into another little standing flow. So just preparing the body here. We're going to inhale, three-legged dog, right leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to chest. And then step it through. Dropping the left foot parallel with the short edge of our mat. We want the right heel in line with the left arch. Taking a deep bend in that right knee for our warrior two. Shoulders are squaring over hips, squeezing the shoulder blades together in the back. We're going to inhale, sweep that right hand up and over. Left hand comes to the extended left leg for our reverse warrior. Opening the chest, keeping that deep bend into our right knee. Inhale back for warrior two. Exhale, leaning forward. We're going to drop the right elbow to the right thigh and sweep the left hand up and over for extended side angle. Remembering we're keeping that deep bend into the knee, feeling a nice stretch in the left side, and coming back into warrior two. So straightening out that left or right leg, we're going to hop the left foot in just a little and take our triangle pose. So inhale, lean forward, and exhale, windmill the arms down, opening the chest towards the left. Taking a couple breaths here. We're going to begin to bend into the right knee for our half moon. So we're planting that right hand just a few inches above that right foot and lifting the back leg off the mat, opening the chest towards the left. Option to take sugarcane pose if you have your balance. So just taking the right foot into the right hand and kicking open here. And whenever you're ready, releasing nice and slow into our crescent lunge. So from our crescent lunge, hands to the hips, we're going to rotate that right foot. So it's pointing in the same direction as our left foot. So it's pointing towards the long edge of our mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding forward in our wide angle forward fold. So crown of the head reaches towards the earth. Feeling that nice opening in the backs of the legs. And when we are ready here, hands to the hips, we're going to inhale for half lift using the core, nice flat back, and exhale up to standing. So showing that same love to the opposite side, we're going to turn the left toes to the short edge of the mat, behind the mat, and keep the right foot where it is. Deep bend into the knee for our warrior two. Shoulders are over the hips. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Next, inhale, reversed warrior. Left hand reaches up and over, opening the chest towards the sky, keeping that deep bend into the left knee. Inhale back to warrior two. Exhale, leaning forward for extended side angle. So dropping the left elbow to the left thigh, sweeping the right hand up and over. Inhaling and exhaling, coming back up. We're going to hop that right foot in just a little bit from our warrior two, straightening out the leg. We're coming into our triangle pose. So inhaling forward, exhale, windmill the arms down. Left arm is open, or right arm is opening to the sky. And we're going to come into that half moon pose next. So taking a deep bend into the left knee, we're planting the left hand about 10 inches above the left foot. And we're going to fire up that back leg, opening for our half moon, reaching the right fingertips towards the sky. So we're keeping that right foot flexed, so we're nice and strong here. Option to take that sugarcane pose if we have our balance. It's okay to stay in half moon. Finding a couple breaths. And we will release into our crescent lunge. And as we exhale, frame that foot, step it back, and flow through. So taking a chaturanga, inhale for up dog, exhale, pressing it back, downward dog. We're going to inhale that right leg up nice and high, and exhale, plant it on the outside of our right hand. So untucking the toes, the left toes, we're going to set up for our lizard pose. So option to stay on the hands, or we could begin to lower down onto the forearms with an option to open onto the outside edge of our right foot to open the hip a little deeper. Finding a few breaths here and just taking a moment to observe how we're feeling. Usually our hips hold a lot of stresses, a lot of anxiety. So if we do feel a little frustrated in this pose, just know that it is normal and just use our breath to get us through. The best thing about yoga is nothing is permanent. We're always changing. So from here, we're going to push up onto the hands and heel toe the right foot over to the left wrist, dropping the right knee to the right wrist, setting up for pigeon. Keeping the right foot flexed, we'll inhale, pull forward, and exhale, lower. Just taking a few breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Clearing out the mind, trying to surrender here in this pose. And when we're ready, pressing up into the hands, and we're going to tuck the back toes and press back into our downward facing dog. Pedaling out the legs here, releasing those poses, feeling all the sensations before we move to the opposite side. So inhale, left leg up nice and high, and exhale, plant left foot on the outside of our left hand. Dropping down onto the forearms if we have the space in our body today, with the option to roll to the outside edge of that left foot to go a little deeper. Just remember to be mindful here with our movements. Notice how we're feeling. And if we ever feel any pain, just come out of the pose a little bit. Finding just a couple more breaths here before pressing up onto the hands and heel toeing that left foot over to the right wrist, dropping the left knee to the left wrist. So setting up for pigeon on the opposite side. Remembering to keep that left foot flexed. We'll inhale, nice flat back, pulling the chest forward, and exhale, fold, bringing the forehead to the mat. Just really surrendering here to this pose. Finding our last few moments here in this shape. And again, just taking a moment to notice how we're feeling here in this pose today. So getting ready, pressing up into the hands, tucking the right toes. We're going to step back into downward dog, pedaling out the feet a little bit. So before we close our practice and stretch it out, we are going to do just a little core work. So from our downward dog, we're going to hop forward, crossing the legs, and sit back onto the glutes, coming right into bridge or boat pose right away. So legs could be extended, reaching the fingertips towards the top of the mat, using that core to stay sturdy. We always have an option to keep the knees bent, or keep the toes just grazing the mat. And we'll begin to lower to the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bending throughout the knees, planting the feet on the mat. We'll inhale that right ankle up and over the left thigh for our figure 4 pose or supine pigeon. So keeping the right foot flexed, we can just stay here opening the hip, or we could bring that left knee towards the chest and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Finding a gentle rock side to side, both feet are flexed. And releasing, crossing that right leg completely over the left. We'll shift the hips to the right and exhale the knees over to the left side. Arms are to a cactus or a T. Option to stay here, or we could take a cattail. So reaching that right hand to grab the left foot and placing the left hand on the right thigh, pressing the knees gently down to the opposite side. Finding our gaze here, and there's always the option just to stay in that twist without the cattail. Okay, we're going to come back to center, uncross the legs, readjust the spine, and bring that over to the opposite side. So inhale the left ankle up and over the right thigh, opening the knee. We could stay here or go a little deeper, bringing that right knee towards the chest. We'll interlace the fingers behind that right thigh, and maybe find a gentle rock side to side, remembering to keep the feet flexed and engaged. We'll release here, crossing that left leg completely over the right, taking that twist. So shifting the hips to the left, we'll exhale and allow the knees to fall to the right. So again, option here to go a little deeper, bringing that right hand to the left thigh and reach the left hand to grab that right foot for a cattail. With our last exhale here, we're going to come back to center, uncross the legs, readjust the spine. We'll inhale, bring the knees to the chest, big toes to touch, grabbing the insides of the feet. We're coming into happy baby. So we're bending the knees towards the armpits or the ground as we kick the heels in the opposite direction in the sky. So creating that resistance within the hips, so that opening. Option to rock side to side, keeping the lower back connected to the earth. And we're going to find stillness here. Bringing both knees into the chest, we'll wrap our hands around our shins, giving ourselves a hug, rocking side to side, thanking ourselves for rolling out our mat today. Then we'll bring our hands behind the thighs, roll up and down the length of the mat 3 to 5 times, massaging the spine before moving up and over into Sukhasana, grounding down in the sit bones, getting ready to close our class. We're going to inhale the hands up overhead and exhale, side out, hands to heart center. Inhaling, hands up, and exhale, cleansing breath out. Last one. We'll inhale the hands up and exhale down to heart center. So thank you all for joining me for this class. If you did like this video, please press subscribe for more content. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Namaste.